With the entire George Floyd situation, I know it is making people uncomfortable because people are really needing to check their white privilege right now, and that is a hard thing to do. People want to scream from the rooftops right now, I'm not racist, I never said that, I would never do that, I would never be that person. And that's fine. Like, I completely understand where you are coming from. You're wanting to defend yourself because you know that you yourself are a good white person, and that's great. However, that is not changing anything. It doesn't change the fact that a black man was murdered in cold blood by a white cop. It doesn't make you an ally to say that you wouldn't do that stuff. We don't need you to defend yourself right now. We need you to defend the black community. That's what we need. Without checking your white privilege, nothing is ever going to change. It just won't. Like I said, we don't need you to defend yourself right now. We need you to defend the black community. That is who we need you defending. We need allies in this. We need allies in this fight, in this movement, and not from the black community. Yes, we can have allies from the black community, but we need them from the white community because the white community is where the voice is. It's where the voice is heard. We need allies who have a voice to speak out for us. The white community already has a platform. They already have a voice to stand on. And you guys get to shout whatever you want, and people will listen no matter what it is. So we need you on our side right now to help scream our cries, to help scream for us, not for yourselves. That's not what this is about. We can't end white supremacy all on our own as the black community. We need our white allies to help us end white supremacy. Without allies, without help from other communities, without other races standing up for us and being a part of that community to help us find our voice, nothing will ever change. Nothing. George Floyd was indeed a non-law abiding citizen. I'll be the first to admit that. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that he was a perfect citizen of the law because we all know that he wasn't. But does that still give anybody a right to kill him in cold blood for a $20 bill that was a counterfeit? I don't think so. I can't justify that. I can't. I hear a lot of people saying that the media is portraying George Floyd as a hero, as somebody to look up to and to admire. And honestly, I haven't seen that once. I'm not saying that George Floyd is a champion or a big shot hero. He's not, okay? Let's just get that clear and out of the way. He's not a hero. He's the catalyst to start the Black Lives Matter movement. He is the one person that has started this movement because all other black folk were saying, hey, we are fed up with this. Enough is enough. Let's stop it here and stop it now. And it's not that we haven't spoken out before, because we have, but nobody has wanted to listen. And now that we finally have a voice, we have the attention of America, nobody likes it. We tried to do this peacefully. We tried so many times before. And whether it's peaceful or whether it's violent and there's protests and riots, somehow our voice still gets drowned out. And so to say that this movement doesn't matter, doesn't exist, it's not needed, you're wrong. And again, I ask that you check your white privilege. If we choose to ignore this movement, if we choose to close our eyes and just say, oh, it's fine, it happens all the time, every day there's cops being killed by white people, blacks being killed by cops, cops being killed by black people, white people being killed by white people. If we just say it's all the same and it's whatever, nothing's gonna change, because honestly, let's just get real for a second. If you look at the big picture, you know deep down, George Floyd and so many other black people were killed because of the color of their skin, not because they did something bad, not because they were criminals, not because this or that. It's because they're black. That's it. And we as human beings know that really deep down, but somehow, some way, some white people still have the audacity to say, Oh no, it was a different reason he was killed. It's not because he was black. Tell me then. Tell me, why was he killed? Oh, because he used a $20 counterfeit bill? That's why? Okay, cool. So he was arrested, but why was he kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes and he couldn't breathe and he was yelling out for his life and cried for his mom who's been deceased for 2 years? Tell me why the cop did that. That's all I need an explanation for. Is if he was just using a $20 kind of counterfeit bill and the cop was kneeling on his neck trying to kill him, why? Just why? I just don't get it. People that are being so ignorant to the fact that this is such a big deal and they're trying to portray this as something else other than cold-blooded murder is just wrong, because that's what it is. It's murder. It's racism. Let's just say it. That makes people uncomfortable. That makes people cringe. I don't know why. It is what it is. And I don't think racism's getting worse in America. I think that the longer that time goes on, the more technology we have, the more access to the media that we have, the more we know about the racism going on in the world, the more we are seeing it now. We're seeing it now more than ever. It's been happening for a long, long time. But now we can film it. Now we can fight for those injustices happening because we have them on video. We have the damn proof that racism is a real thing and it is happening all over the place. All over the place. It's a real thing. And to say that it's not, check your damn white privilege immediately. So, whether you believe that he deserved to be killed or not, you should know deep down that it's a racial issue. You can't flip it any other way. It's a racial issue. And if you decide to not see color, I don't see color. I don't see color, you guys. Everyone's a human and I don't see colors, so I don't see why it's an issue. That's great. I'm so glad you're not racist. But right now you do need to open your eyes and see the damn color. Cop, white, African American, black, racism. You need to open your eyes and see the damn colors. You can't sit here, you can't stay silent about the issue. You are a part of the problem if you're turning your head the other way in hopes that nobody's going to see you squirm away from the situation. You are a part of the problem if you stay silent. You are the reason that change has never happened. To stay silent, that it doesn't affect you, to not share your thoughts, your feelings on the matter, you are part of the problem. And if that bothers you, you guessed it, check your white privilege. I don't think that George Floyd should be idolized as a role model for the black community. But I do think that we need to learn from his unfortunate murder and at least admire this man's will to live. His last breaths, his last moments on earth. We do need to admire the reality of the situation at hand, though, which is that George Floyd was murdered in cold blood because of the color of his skin. Because he was black. Some might say wrong place, wrong time for him. I would just say wrong place, wrong skin color. For those of you who have kids and they are Caucasian and you are Caucasian, I have a question for you. Have you ever had to sit down your children or child and talk to them about what to do if a police officer approaches them, even if they've done nothing wrong? Have you taught them how to say their full name, that they are not armed, and to not resist? Have you had that conversation with your white child? I didn't think so. At least most of you have not. It's not a conversation a Caucasian mom has with her kids. It is a conversation for most parents with black children. I find that to just be sad. Pathetic that we even have to have these conversations. For the people that are upset about the protests that are happening, the reason those protests are happening and the reason people are trying to get their voices heard so that George Floyd's death does not just fizzle out, it does not just dissipate, it does not disappear, never to be spoken about again. To make sure that the voice that the black community had now just for about 2 weeks stays, not just for 2 weeks, but forever. And if we just sit back and let it fizzle out and let society move on from the fact that a black man was killed in cold blood by a white cop, we're not doing our job. We're not doing our job as not only African Americans, but we're not doing our job as human beings. So at this point you say, well, Jossie, what can I do? How do you expect me to be the change in this big world? I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to say. Educate yourself. Read a history book. Research. Donate. Pay homage. Pay tribute to George Floyd and any other African American that has been killed by police brutality. Don't feel guilty, please. If you have been raised right, if you have been raised to not be racist, to love everybody, no matter the color of their skin, keep it up. If you hear one of your friends make a racist joke, and you usually sit back and laugh at it because, it helps you fit in, try standing up for the black community at that point. Try standing up for whatever race is being judged and joked about. Use your voice. Now is the time to change, to make a change, to start to speak out, to see the difference it'll make in society if we just learn to stand up for one another and to be allies with each other. That's all you have to do. That is where the change starts. What you need to do is take accountability for your white privilege. Recognize it. Acknowledge it. Be grateful for it. One of the main things that I would like to point out about this whole entire situation is that not only myself, but everyone in the African American community, we are black every single day. Every day. Not just when it's trending. Just remember that. And before you go off and say anything about all lives matter, I'm not ignorant. I realize that all lives do matter. I've lost people in my life that aren't black, and I do think that their lives matter. They still do. But at this moment in time, that's not what this movement is about. All lives matter, but right now, it's about the black lives. And to diminish that by saying all lives matter, it hurts the black community. So try to keep an open mind. We never said that only black lives matter. We're just saying that they matter right now, more than ever. All lives matter, but right now, not all lives are at stake. Right now, it's about black lives. And if you have a problem with that, check your white privilege. I want to leave you guys with 2 quotes. The first is by the infamous Martin Luther King Jr. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And the second quote I would like to share with you is from Nathan W. Morris. Lasting change cannot happen without transformation of the heart. And he's right. This change won't matter, none of it will matter unless we all have transformations of the heart. And we learn to love each other, no matter what our skin color, no matter where we come from, no matter who we are. Let's just remember that we're all human. But we're in this together to get justice for George. Say his name. George Floyd. And remember it.